Hi, everybody. Welcome to Real Stories of Hurting Moms. And my name is Cathy Taylor, and I'm so happy to be here with you tonight. I got a lot of things to tell you about, and I have a guest. I'm going to introduce her to you in just a moment. And she's actually right here with me. She's going to come sit in this chair right here because she's from Southern California. She's local. I mean, most of the time, my guests are somewhere else in the country, but this time, I have somebody local, so I'm really happy about that. But I want to start off by telling you some news that maybe some of you aren't aware of yet. We've been talking about it a little bit, but I'm kind of getting used to the idea, and so I wanted to share it with you tonight. And that is that Hurting Moms Mending Hearts is now officially a nonprofit organization. And this is something we've been working toward for like close to a year, actually around a year. And we became an organization or corporation back in the very end of last year. But now we finally got our documentation that we're an official 501(c) or nonprofit. And that means that we're able to accept tax-deductible donations. And that also means that, you know what we did? Last week, we took a huge step of faith, and we lowered all the prices in our store, online. We lowered all the prices because God has been so faithful. He's been so faithful to this ministry every step of the way, all along the way. I mean, doing things that I never imagined, and certainly not things that I've created to happen. It's just God keeps showing up, and we're content. So I'm confident that He's going to continue to provide for us through the donations of our community. So there's a link above the video that'll take you directly to a place where you can donate your tax-deductible donation. If Hurting Moms Mending Hearts has made a difference in your life, if you found hope and healing here, I hope you'll consider making a tax-deductible donation so that other hurting moms will be able to experience the same hope and healing. I also want to remind you that we have new online groups getting ready to start. We have, I think, about 4 groups getting ready. One of them is going to start next Wednesday on the 25th. And it's still open. They still have a few spaces left. It's filling up fast, but I'm hoping we can keep it open for a few more days. But that's on Wednesday evening, the 25th. And that's just going to be a super, if you haven't been in a group yet, that's where the real healing is. I know a lot of you find community and healing by watching the Facebook Live like we're doing tonight. But in the group, and they last for 10 weeks, that's where the work takes place and where you'll be given tools to move towards hope and healing. So we also have 3 groups starting in October, a couple of daytime groups, a nighttime group, both day and night. Some of you may prefer a morning group. We have them. So if you have not been through a Hurting Moms Breaking Free group yet, I can't even stress it enough. Please sign up tonight. Just do it. Don't think about it anymore. Don't be afraid. We'll help you get in there. And so there's also a link right above this video tonight. I promise you'll be glad you did if you do it. So now I want to introduce my guest. Oh, first of all, tell us where you are. I see Kathy Wendling saying Butler, PA. Thank you. I saw Sharon on here and Lisa on here. I saw my son Brian on here. I feel like Hobo Kelly saying NIC. So I love when you guys are saying hello to me. Anyway, I see Carla. So I want to introduce you to my guest. So this is, her name is Vickie, and come on over, Vickie, start getting situated. We were practicing how to sit in the chairs earlier, and she's been on before, but we figured it out. It's been like 2 years ago, I think.
I think it's been like 2 years.
Yeah. And so she is a leader here in Southern California, and she has been leading groups for like 4 years.
4 years.
4 years. Even since before the publication came out, right? Before the workbook.
Yeah, before the workbook.
Yeah, it was like in a notebook. When I first wrote it, it was like in a notebook, and it was before it was published. So she's been doing that, and I'm just so thankful that you're here. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. It's an honor.
She was telling me tonight that she's leading a group right now.
Yes.
And they're on lesson 7. Tell us a little bit about that. You were sharing with me some of the dynamics about what happens when you get to that. Write a letter.
So it was kind of nice when she asked me to come on, because I thought, wow, I'm right in the middle of a class. So kind of everything is really fresh, on my mind as far as, the process of a healing mom. And that was the topic I asked Cathy. I said, well, if you want to choose a topic, I said how I see where the class is right now is it's a transition of when a mom comes in, and all of us who are broken when we come in, or have some, we have our prodigal child, or our child that's a wayward child. We all have a story, but when you get to lesson 7, which is where we're at, and I like the title of lesson 7, it's letting go, letting God. And I see the transition of the moms really, having to understand that, because it is a process, and the process is within a mom, because when we come in, we are broken, and our healing process starts from, session 1 and session 2, where we have to go through the process of, understanding our guilt, our shame, our fear, and all of us come in with the same type of, scenarios, as far as, our thoughts, our negative thinking, our enabling, our controlling. And when you take a mom through that whole process, and they see that they are the enablers, and that they are controlling. I mean, it's hard, particularly for me, controlling. I mean, I just wanted what was best for my children, but I just, when I got to session 7, and I realized that, if I didn't let my kids go and let God, then it wasn't going to be what God had planned for them, because I'm not the one that can guide their path. I'm only the one that can love them, and love them unconditionally. And, another thing is that, those children that, they make those choices, we have to understand that it's not that as a parent as a mom, we've done something wrong. Right. It's just that the world is so ungodly, as you know, and there's a lot of influences out there that, a lot of us think that by sheltering and, keeping them from the world, we can't stop that. But what we can do as a mom, and what I've learned from just teaching the class, and I can't stop praying. I have 4 children, and I have, they're different age groups. I have 2 older ones, 32 and 28. And that's when it started for me. And, the transition that I have gone through by teaching the hurting moms and watching and guiding other moms. My youngest kids are twins. They're 18-year-old boys. And I'm blessed that I was able to heal myself for them, because that's the key. And that's why I told Cathy that I felt that the topic today is that as a hurting mom, when I started to heal, I started to see my own children heal. It's like a process, and it's hard to explain, but who can explain God's power? And to me, in hurting moms, you teach your moms about the strong scriptures in the Bible. I live by scriptures now. All of my children in a Bible, they have their name, their picture. I have a scripture for each and every one of them. And, one day they'll look at my Bible, and they're going to know that scripture was the one mom prayed on for them. So, but anyway.
Yeah, that's it. There's nothing like it. I mean, what's so exciting, we go through it. We've been just as broken as any mom that ever walks into a group, right? And we have found some healing. And so the reason that I started this in the first place, because God taught me some things, and I just had this sense of urgency that moms don't have to be brokenhearted. We don't have to feel consumed with this pain. Yes, we love our kids. It isn't that we're just like casting them aside and never going to think about them, or we don't love them. But it's something that happens inside of us, learning how to take back our own lives, basically. And so once you've had some healing, once you go through one of these groups, most moms start feeling like they want to help other moms, because you want other moms to know that they don't have to stay in that. And every one of our leaders has been, and we have like over 100 leaders on our list between local groups and online groups. They all are hurting moms, and they have all found healing. And so they're anxious to be able to share that with other moms. And I hear that all the time, what you just said, that it's like moms say, they start focusing on themselves and getting better themselves and getting to a better place. And all of a sudden, their kids start turning around.
Right.
And it doesn't happen all the time, and it happens at different lengths of time. It may not be overnight, but I hear this over and over that, oh my gosh, I finally kind of let go and started trusting God with my child. And like I always say, I feel like we're the ones who get in the way. We're the ones who get in the way of what God might be wanting to do in our kids' lives.
Yeah.
And so once we kind of get out of the way and start focusing on us and what we can do for ourselves, it's like all of a sudden things turn around with their kids. It's just amazing. Really.
Yeah, and it's a process, ladies.
Yes.
It definitely is a process. I can tell you that, I've heard stories from other hurting moms, and they'll talk about how long it took, and it may sound like a long time, like 8 years, 14 years, but even for me, I had 2 children that were wayward, but it's been 5 years, but those 5 years have gone by quickly. But to watch the transition of the 5 years of where they were as to where they're at today, I mean, they're healing, particularly my son. I mean, he's just, he did the Celebrate Recovery, he graduated, he's on fire. And, when I came in as a hurting mom, I never would imagine that would be my son holding his own Bible study. And it is something else. And, I came in hurting moms for my daughter, to tell you the truth. But my prayers were for all my children, but God used my older son to kind of steer my daughter in the right direction, because they're kind of really close in age, and it's kind of like a monkey see, monkey do kind of thing.
Yeah.
And she kind of is observing. So hallelujah that my daughter, she's 32, and watching her younger brother, he's been 2 years doing really well. And now she's been going to church just real recently, because she's a mom now. So being a mom, now that she's a mom, changes them.
It does.
Yeah,
it
really
changes
does.
Things for sure.
But you know what? I truly believe that it started as me as a hurting mom, healing mom, that, with my prayers and the power of prayers and just putting the scriptures on my children, I just know that it just played a total power in God's name as to what he had planned for them. And, ladies, I will tell you, I sleep good. I may look tired, but that's for another reason.
I've been working on it.
But I will tell you that I don't lose sleep because of my children anymore. Yeah. I sleep like a baby. I don't have those negative thinking thoughts anymore. The minute I feel that it's not perfect all the time. Sometimes the enemy wants to attack me again. And that's another thing. The enemy will try to attack you because he wants your children more than anything. But I just know that as long as I know God has their back, I mean, how could I lose,
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, that's kind of what it's all about. And I think I stress this a lot, and I can't stress enough. I think the whole idea of being in community, recognizing that we're not alone, there's so much power in that, and being able to share, know we're understood. Sharon is one of our leaders, and she says, first of all, she said the burden is lighter when shared, which is so true. When we come into a group, and many of us isolate with this, we don't tell anybody about it, we don't talk about it. And so we come into a group, and here we are, we're able to share openly and honestly with others who are not going to judge us because they're in the same boat we're in. And then Sharon also said, we tie his hands when we don't let go. God is a gentleman, and he won't violate your will. So if you don't let go, he'll let you keep the burden.
Yeah.
And that's true. We're holding on to it. It becomes our burden, and it doesn't have to be. And so, again, I think so much of the healing, yes, we go through the workbook, and we are given tools. And like you mentioned, was it this week your homework was writing a letter?
Last week was to write a letter to your child. Whether there was some form of, of repentance or forgiveness, because sometimes that is something that, as part of the process, sometimes when you go through the process, there is things that, in order to release things that you've learned about yourself as a parent, you do end up having to ask your child for forgiveness, because there may, sometimes the words that come out of your mouth are, risen from anger. And, I know that when your child is pushing your buttons and pushing you too far, I mean, you're just human. The words come out, and words are hurtful. So, I thought back, and I have to look at things I said, and you can't take back some words sometimes. Sometimes those words are very damaging.
Yeah.
And so anyway, when they write their letters to their children, a lot of it is about asking for forgiveness, but also letting their child know that there's good in them. Because sometimes we forget the good in our children when they're being rebellious with us. And that letter is very powerful when they read it out loud, because it's something that a mom maybe not be ready to read it yet to their child, but just reading it with your group helps to feel this weight lifted off your shoulders. And when they do get that opportunity to finally read that letter to their child, it starts another part of the healing process. Cathy said something in regards to earlier. You said, I was going to mention it. I'll catch up.
I have no idea.
No, I
said a lot of things. I think, that whole day, I want to acknowledge here also, there's a lot of moms that come to Hurting Moms groups and that are in this community who have no contact with their kids. A lot of moms whose kids have decided they don't want anything to do with them. They've turned their back. They've become estranged from their families. And I talked to lots of moms who are really brokenhearted because their child or children have walked away, just turned their back and walk away from the family. And so, but you know what? It's still helpful to write that letter. It's kind of like journaling. We talk about how you get things from your head down onto paper. It somehow gives you a relief or release. And I think that's what a big part of this is, as well as the whole idea that we can share with each other openly and freely.
That's what I was going to say. That the biggest part of when you join a group, and Cathy encouraged those who have not, is that you're going to find that you are not alone. And the women who come into a group, whether it's 6 or 14, however many women are in that group, you become like a close bond, fellowship with each other. I mean, because a lot of times you get to that point where you're going to be given that opportunity. God's going to release you to just pour your heart out in front of not just to God, but to other women who are just as broken. And that is for life. I mean, I've taught about 5 or 6 classes, and I have the text threads, and these moms are so close. I mean, whenever they need a prayer, whether it's 2 a.m, I mean, and you should see prayers on their way, scriptures on their way. I mean, and you feel you're not alone. You feel like, you know what, not only does God have your back, but your sisters in Christ have your back, because they're going to pray for any reason for your children. And it's just I can't tell you, I love the bond that I've built with all my hurting moms. I don't know if my phone's going to be able to fit all these women on my phone.
I'm going to have to get another one.
But I encourage you also, if you have not, take that step. Every time I start a class, I will tell you that when the ladies come to the class, they can't wait till the next class. They can't wait till Tuesday.
And then they get sad at the end.
Yes.
So when you get done with, you have the 10th week gets there, and it's like, they're like, they don't want to end.
Yeah.
They want to keep
all
getting together.
Yeah.
So it's I don't know. It's an amazing thing. Sharon says you become family, and you really do. I mean, we're talking about some of the things that we've never maybe shared with anyone else before, and never felt safe enough to do that. And it's just, there's just nothing like it. And I mean, all of you, I hear so many stories. I've got to say, I mean, there are so many situations, so many different situations, from addiction to estrangement to grandmas raising grandchildren that their kids have walked away from or had taken away, to grandmas who aren't allowed to see their grandchildren, different lifestyles, you name it. Moms hurt for a lot of reasons over their kids. But over the years, as I've been doing this, I've come to realize that no matter what our story or what the cause of the pain is the same. The pain that we feel is the same. And I'm sure you find that in your groups where you've led all these groups and you have moms with different situations. And like you said, you have right now your group has 6, but you've had groups of 14.
My last class was 14.
Yeah.
And to add on to Cathy, I mean, a lot of times we get these calls or messages and say, but my child's only 15, 16. You know, that's actually the time you should come if they're rebelling.
That's when that's why I started. My daughter was a teenager when this started for me. And when I started realizing, when all of a sudden, when I woke up and realized, oh my gosh, this isn't just normal teenage stuff. This is drugs. This is deep defiance. And, I would take days, sometimes weeks off of work, trying to figure out what I could do to control her. And I finally, God taught me a lot through all that. But then as I started feeling better, even though she was not better, but I got to a better place, I just wanted to start sharing that with other moms. Carol, yes, the pain does lift. I can promise you that it does. We go through a process. Hi, Gail. We go through a process of releasing the pain. We go through a process of, part of the process, I think it's pretty simple concept, is that we face head on what we're feeling. We go through a whole session on the emotions that we're feeling. We go through sessions on the phases that we go through, because we're shocked at the beginning when realization hits us that we're a hurting mom. And so we go through a process, but once you realize these things and face them, you become free of it somehow. It just, there's a huge freedom in it.
Yeah, some of the key emotions, because the class is fresh on me right now, is that, you go through the process of understanding, your shame, your guilt. And then the next phase is it takes you through the emotions of your disappointments, your anger, your hurt, your fear. I mean, they're all fresh on me right now because I'm teaching a class, and it's just, and every mom has some. Not every mom will have all those emotions, but a lot of them will relate.
Yeah.
And when you get through each emotion, whether it's disappointment or whether it's, your fear, your anger, resentment, bitterness, you go through it. And once we take you through that through the class, you realize something goes off like a light bulb, thinking that's me.
Yeah.
and you relate. And then when you have the other moms gathering and now they're pouring, saying, you know what? I do have that. And the thing is that I think you have embarrassment because you don't want to admit that you have that type of anger at your child. You don't want to admit
that's part of the shame.
That's part of the shame.
We experience shame.
You do have that shame, and shame is part of healing. You just have to own it, and God will do the rest.
Yeah. Nikki says when it comes back, though, grief, it's like a tidal wave, and that's true. And you do go through those times. You're included, Nikki. You don't have to pay to watch this. Mm-hmm. This is for everybody. So stick with us here. This is for any hurting mom that, that's why we have this Facebook page, is to be a community together. But, when you're right, we get to better for a while and then it comes back. I was able to surrender her, let go, and then take her back. I mean, it's a constant process, but the longer that you do it, the longer that we, and the more we practice letting go and surrendering our kids, the longer periods. I used to ask God for peace, and He'd give it to me every single time I asked, but maybe it'd only be 1 minute till I'm like getting all churned up again. But as time went on, it became longer and longer to where now I can just live in that peace no matter what's going on. So it's really, it is a process. It is a process. It doesn't happen overnight, but it is a process, and it's so important to start the process. Ladies, if you haven't been in a group yet, we keep hearing us talk about groups, and it's a little intimidating, I think, and especially when we're talking about online groups. You can look at our website, hurtingmomsmendinghearts.org, and there are local groups around the country. So if there's a group near you, great, get a hold of that leader. There'll be contact information. But if not, please consider joining an online group. Hi, Gwendolyn. I see Gwendolyn from Florida. She's one of our online leaders. Mm-hmm. And I just feel like I don't know. I don't even know how to stress it enough. I think and the reason that I'm so adamant about it, the reason that I'm so pushing this all the time is that I know it works. I've seen hundreds of moms receive hope and healing by going through a group. And I just want that for all of you. Those of you that are tied up in knots tonight, those of you that are going to go to bed dreading what tomorrow's going to bring, those of you who feel empty and lonely because you don't know where your kids are or they don't want to be in contact with you, this community can help you. There's hope.
Yeah.
You don't have to live like that. And God has a plan for you and for your life. So that's kind of what this is all about. I mean, not kind of, that really is what this is all about.
And what I see with the church I support Cottonwood, is that a lot of the women now are coming by oh, someone told me they took your class, or someone said they took the class, and a lot of them are referrals now.
Yeah.
And they're just and then they're very thankful. They're very thankful not only to the one that referred them to come to the class, but the one thing I hear too, Cathy, is that I didn't know this class existed.
Yeah.
Yeah, they say that. Where
I see know that all the time.
Class. Yeah.
You know, especially on Facebook. So this comes up in your feed. A lot of you probably found us because all of a sudden you were on Facebook and a video or something came up in your feed. I want to let you know that I've been doing these videos every Thursday for 3 years. And so but a lot of people say, oh my gosh, I had no idea. Or I have some people say, I've thought about doing something like this before, but I didn't know how to do it. Well, here it is. Here we are. We're all in this together. And I don't know. I love all you guys. Hurting moms are always on my heart. I'm always thinking about it. And I say that every week, but I so mean it. Desiree says, you can watch these videos without pain. Absolutely. Watching the videos, this is what being on Facebook, this is all things that we try to do to help you. Moms, that we want to do to help you feel like you're part of the community, which you are if you're watching. The groups, the only reason you have to pay for the groups is we have to publish those workbooks. Mm-hmm. And we've just lowered all the prices because of the fact that we're a nonprofit and we are trusting God. We're trusting God that He's going to provide for us through our community, your generous donations. So we've lowered everything. It's only thing you have to pay for is to be in a group. And I will say, also regarding groups, there is if financial reasons is what's going to prevent you from being in a group, we have a sponsorship program called Mend a Heart. And you can go to our website and click on that and apply for Mend a Heart. All you have to do is put a little information, give us a one paragraph about your situation, and we have some moms who feel so strongly about this that they have provided sponsorships for other moms who might not be able to swing it right now. Hi, Jane. I see you. Good to see you. So I just want to let you know about that. If you haven't been able to join a group and maybe it's for financial reasons, please check out our Mend a Heart sponsorship program on our website. So, and yes, you get the workbook by mail, Carol. The books, we have when you order them, they get mailed out right away. We have a production company. They go straight from there. So we're slowly but surely getting this thing organized, and it's really, I never had a dream that this would be like this. I never knew that there were so many hurting moms, but
I never thought I'd be teaching a hurting moms. I never would have imagined that I'd be teaching it, but it's it's where God's going to use me. I'm just that vessel, and every year that I get to teach a group, I just in awe of watching God's hand in the whole process of the group. He's from the beginning to the end, and every lady who finishes the class, they come in broken, but I'm not saying that they're going to be healed right away, but I'm just saying on the 10th week, you're not the same.
No, you will change.
You will change.
I mean, that is almost guaranteed.
Guaranteed. I've not seen one lady and I have seen ladies take the class twice, And that's because, they're what I've seen with them is that they kind of help my class when they take it twice, because they're able to share and they've grown.
Yeah.
Their transition is so, like, they're different, and they're able to encourage the rest of the group that this works. This happens.
I think that's part of the plan that you're talking about. I think part of the plan is that as we heal, as we're given hope, then we're called to help other moms understand that they can get to a better place too. And it's really powerful. I never get tired. I know you don't either. That's why you keep leading groups, right?
Yes.
I never get tired of watching moms' lives transformed right before my eyes. That they come in, like you said, broken. We can barely look up off the floor. I mean, the tears are running fluidly the first couple nights. And then all of a sudden, we just start seeing this change come over them.
You see laughter.
Yeah,
laughter. You see the anxiety that they came in with. You see anxiety disappear.
Yeah. And
the one important part is they get their hope back.
Yeah. The emptiness goes away. I think, that's what this was all about.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about. So we're out of time already. The time goes so fast when we do this. I just really want to thank you all for being here tonight. Thank you for watching. This is going to be on our Facebook page forever and ever. I mean, you can tell your friends about it, tune in during the week. If you didn't get to watch all of it tonight, go back. You can go back, click on it, and start from the beginning again. I want to let you know also on the website, and I didn't put a link up there, but if you go to hurtingmomsmendinghearts.org, there is a way you can sign up for a free daily devotional. It's called the Daily Encouraging Word, and it comes into your email every day. And they're devotionals that I wrote that really just have to do with, it helps us be able to hear God's voice somehow. I don't know. It took us, they're short, doesn't take long to read them, but if you're interested in having something, I have a lot of moms telling me, man, that just is what gets me through the day.
Right.
Waking up, reading that, it's in your email when you get up in the morning. So hurtingmomsmendinghearts.org, and right on the front page, if you scroll down, you'll see where you can sign up for the free daily encouraging word. We try to give you as many tools as we can, without charging, because my whole thing is about helping moms. That's what I want to do. So there's other things on the website. If you browse around on there, there's blog posts. Some I wrote, some other moms have written. There's lots of things on there that I hope will encourage you, and that's what it's all about. I just want to encourage you that you're not alone. You're part of a bigger community. God has got your kids in the palm of his hand, and remember, they're his kids too. He created them. Mm-hmm. And so hold on to that, ladies. Have a great week and keep praying for each other. And I'll be back next Thursday. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.